and let us all do we can to build a better future. Are really bringing the ruckus. AOC, you might want to be taking some notes. And I think if there's any image that shows everything is just fine, it's this image right here. They're drinking wine while there's a fire right there next to them. It's like that dog just sipping coffee. Says everything's fine as his house is burning all around him. So how was your day? How was your day? Oh, my day was a little rough, you know, but then again, you got all those protesters in the background. So for those of you who don't know, there's a reason why this is happening. So the president of France already faced not one, but walked away from 2 votes of no confidence. But the reason why this is happening is because they are planning on raising the retirement age from 62 to 64 in France, to which, again, many workers across the political spectrum and across varying regions of France are angry. And this is taking place, no, not in Ukraine. And some of these images might look like a war zone, but it's happening in France, Paris, the capital. So, Connor, do you want to weigh in a little bit before we play a couple more videos?
Well, yeah. It's not even just in Paris. It's the entire fucking country. Like every big city in France, Bordeaux, Medellin, it's all fucking just being burnt. You know, they're watching their country burn. And that's for a 2-year age raise. And it's still 1 year under the American retirement age.
Exactly. And here's the thing here. So here you sent me these links too, because not only in Paris, folks, it's nationwide. So
Yeah.
here is Bordeaux.
That's their town hall.
Don't worry, folks. It's not like history's repeating itself. Go on, Connor. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go on, continue.
You're good. But in America, if that were happening, oh my God, there would be riot shields, rubber bullets, pepper spray, macings.
Unless it's a Trump rally or something where they're giving a grand tour of the Capitol building and then they say it's the greatest coup to ever happen in American history. There's a shaman wearing a buffalo helmet. But if it was any other kind of protest, not for Trump, man, yeah, riot shields, rubber bullets, real bullets, gas, you know, cars running over people. I mean, come on, man.
I mean, anybody remember 2020?
Did anything happen during that year? I forget.
That's the way. It's on fire there.
These images, my goodness. Good find, Connor.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So, by the way, here is a video showing recorded by the police perspective. And again, people were angry and the police didn't have a chance to stop them. So, I don't know. Hey, I don't know. People here on the left, anyone here, Americans, if you're upset at the system, you know, you don't have to take it. You don't have to be a good little person and just go along with it. You can actually stand up for yourself. So here we go.
God just got hit with a firework there.
Yeah, that's gotta hurt. Oh, it's not like there was a revolution in France that ever took place there. It's not like that ever went down, right? You don't think?
No, I mean, it's crazy how organized it is. I mean, if it's happening on this scale almost everywhere around their nation, it's
Hmm.
crazy how organized this got. Where I feel like in this information age, it's so hard to get organized, at least in America, because there's always so many things dividing us.
Exactly, and it's a perfect distraction too. I want to pull up another video here. This is again showing how the French police are getting tired, or hey, 9 days of protest. They're just getting exhausted. Whoa!
Damn.
So, so that's a thing. That's a thing that's happening here. Here's another image too. Again, it's not Ukraine, folks. It's happening in France, a first world nation. I'll never forget when the war in Ukraine first started. There was this reporter from the BBC. People were leaving Ukraine, and everyone was still scared and shocked. And this one reporter said, "I can't believe this is happening here. This is Europe. Wars don't happen like this." And I'm like, "Lady, this is Europe's MO. Europe's been at war for you need to open up that history book." It's
No.
like, it's like that meme. First time, first time, first time. God, Europe's like a pro. It's like, come on, I got this. They've been through this before. Again, this looks like it could be in Ukraine, but it ain't. It's in France. Again, it's anger. And what's the anger towards? It's because the people know that if they can raise the age of retirement, they can raise that number up higher. And what else they could take away too? Oh, I don't know, workers' rights. There's a reason why, again, when corporate media was covering this story, we played this last week, and the reason why we're playing this for all of you right now, so you can get a better understanding, is there's a reason why a lot of these European countries actually have a great healthcare system and other wonderful social benefits to protect their workers. It has to deal with the aftermath of the Second World War, where the entire continent, I know this is Europe, was all burnt to a crisp. No infrastructure, nothing standing. It was absolute devastation, total war in its purest form. The entire continent was devastated. And gee, I don't know, maybe you need to take care of your people so that they could rebuild their lives after a horrific event. And maybe, I don't know, take care of them afterwards so history doesn't repeat itself. Have health care, have social benefits, have time for families to rebuild. Because going through a traumatic event, there are probably a lot of families struggling with PTSD. They don't talk about that in the history books about the aftermath of the war and what countless families on the European continent had to go through. So, again, there's a reason why people are upset. It's because this is what allows them to do it. And sadly, I've seen in the live stream chat people saying, I would like to see this in America. And somebody wrote in there, this will never, ever, ever happen in America. And why? Because the thing is, I think for the most part, we have been trained not to really accept this abuse for us and just go along with it. Whereas everyone else here in France or any other European country, they riot because this is what gets them through. This is part of their identity, protection for their families. Okay, enough ranting. Connor, take it away.
Well, the people in France understand one thing, and it's that the people in power have the money, they have the influence, they have the power, they have the connections, and they have the media. But the one thing that they don't have are numbers. No matter what, the population will always have numbers. And they Aren't I guarantee you, all those people in that field that were breaking the fences and burning the cars, I guarantee you they have different political views, but they combined over one thing, and it was we aren't gonna let our government do this. And
Hmm.
I bet the major French news media right now are calling them rioters and looters, and you know what I mean? Just like how we did in 2020 for the Black Lives Matter protests.
You know what? But here's the thing. You know what I love right now? It's when you see people actually start dumping trash and waste in front of the prefectures. Because remember when the Dutch farmers were protesting, Connor? Do you remember that when that incident took place?
It was a little bit ago, but I do remember that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The people of France took notes. And so the French people across the country are protesting against President Macron. And now we got the farmers doing and other people dumping all the waste. Here it is. I'm gonna do my Tony Soprano impression to these government officials. Now clean it up, you whoas. Or that's just more of an Italian mobster. You politicians,
Yeah.
yeah, the politicians being the whoas. Clean it up. Clean it up.
These are French farmers doing this.
Now, I'm not saying this is the best way, but y'all could do more, France. Come on, France. This isn't your first time having a revolution. It's in your blood. Come on, get out that national razor. One more video, but Connor, I want to have your commentary in on this too. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I mean, it just seems like we got to do a toxic tour of France soon after that.
Well, so what exactly happened here? Why is there so much garbage? Government jagoffs. You know,
Yeah.
that's why. Oh, okay. That's a terrible French impression because I don't want to embarrass myself doing a French voice, but you know, all of you get the picture. So there you go. I ran into probably some casual person in France who speaks like a Chicagoan. So there you go. More Perfect Union has a video tweet here as well. French unions called for a general strike today. This video took place on March 23rd. And there's and the people responded. Over 200 demonstrations were held in the country, up towards 3.5 million on strike across the country. In Paris alone, unions estimate that 800,000 people turned out. So look, hold on.
Wild. So many people.
Jesus Christ, my fellow Americans, come on. Again, it's you want to see this here in this country. You
Yeah.
do. Let's see. We also got another Groundville of this one. There you go. So shout out to all those protesters and people organizing, protecting their rights. You know, again, in this country here in the United States, not in France, but in this country, I don't know if you've had a chance to see one, but and again, this just shows how heartless I'm saying. I don't know if you have a chance to see one, but have you ever seen one of those old elderly Walmart greeters who look like in their 80s or 90s, Connor?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, you have. Okay, yeah. Again, it's heartbreaking stuff. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that my great grandmother, my grandmother, my uncle, and my grandfather who passed away, they never had to do anything like that. At least
Yeah.
they retired with dignity, right? Which is again going to be a privilege because again, we're in this country. We are trained to work, work, work until we die. And when we're dead, when our bodies are dead on the ground at Walmart, when I'm gonna probably be like 100 years old, if nothing fundamentally changes, they're gonna put like an exoskeleton to my dead body, and my exoskeleton is gonna be dangling around, stocking up cans on a Walmart shelf. That's if the top 1% want to have their way, that's what they're gonna do. And
Yep.
and again, it's something that we all know is wrong. People working into their 80s and 90s, retirement's not no people that have to get out of retirement just so they can continue on living. I want to give you the final word, Connor.
Yeah, I mean, what did you say? 800,000 people in Paris alone showed out?
800,000 people.
If half that in the entire country of the United States were together on an issue for a protest, that would be monumental.
Oh,
And like I just want everyone to know like how much of a number that is in terms of protests.
so Connor, I'm gonna break your heart here, but there was a point where I think at least 800,000 to a million people did show up, at least in Chicago, for a
Yeah.
protest. Do you want to know what it was?
What was it for, Kit?
Why, it was when everyone, it was the Women's March of 2016 where all the pussy hats were out and everyone was protesting against the orange Cheeto.
Yeah.
Or it wasn't even a protest, just a march. I remember that December because no, it was December of 2017. Yes, December of 2017. It was like 70 degrees here in Chicago. And like over 800,000 to like around a million people showed up at that Women's March just so they could show their outrage to the orange Cheeto. That's the only time people show up, just to be blaming some jagoff politician. You know, none of them are going to change anything, but that's the only time people showed up because, you know, that's an important issue. Not the fact that we had politicians prior before Trump to help create the system that we're in right now. But yeah, look, Connor, mandatory. You better have that pink pussy hat somewhere. If you don't, you're canceled. You
All right.
hear me?
Yeah, I heard you.
And that goes for everyone in the live stream chat too. The only time you're allowed to protest is when the establishment says this is the thing you need to be angry at. Yep. Don't be angry at us taking away your retirement, your Social Security, your health care, you know, all of that, your house. Just be angry at Orange Cheeto.